am in Shin Okubo. We're actually just down the street from the station. It's right behind me, and we just left the 2D Cafe, which is the literal opposite way. 2D Cafe, pretty amazing. A little overpriced. You're paying for the aesthetic though. And going in, it was pretty cool. Like, we were quite shocked at the 2D-ness of it. I kind of wonder if there's one in Korea, because there's the Shin Okubo area, if I recall correctly, is like Little Korea, or like Koreatown, if you would, for Tokyo. They're blaring K-pop music in there, and I want to say that I saw Sumi, the singer, from, what is it, IOI, I think it was, something like that. She went, well, she's a soloist now, but she was a part of a girl group back in the day. Go with, I forget that famous TikToker or YouTuber that does like the kind of really well integrated 3D graphics into his TikToks or YouTube shorts or whatnot. It looked much bigger than this place, but maybe it was here. I don't know. That being said, we actually got two sets, one with a Croffle and an Einspanner, and another with a 2D shortcake and a boba tea. The boba and the boba tea was not good. I can't say that I'm too surprised. And the Einspanner and the Croffle were delicious, and the 2D cake was good, although definitely gimmicky. Overall, good time. We just sat down and enjoyed ourselves, took our time. It being the last day here in Japan, we were just spending it here in Tokyo. And I should say, before we came here, we were just farting around in Akihabara, just walking around and enjoying ourselves. I went to a book off and was able to find a photo book that I wanted. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we're headed towards lunch right now. It's almost lunchtime. Kind of funny that we're leaving a cafe to go to lunch. But that being said, we will check back in a moment here. Cool. And welcome back. It's been a long day. Last I checked in, I was talking about the 2D Cafe. After the 2D Cafe, we went to Onigiri Bongo, which they don't actually allow you to take any video inside. They do allow you to take footage or photos. There's tons of signs everywhere allowing you to know what you can and cannot do. We ended up waiting in line there for a good 45 minutes. They were packed. The line literally went around the block. And so as we got closer, Lynn went to go geocache, and I just waited in line. They are actually so accustomed to people waiting in line out in the sun that they actually provide umbrellas for everybody to hold to block the sun while you're standing there. And it's definitely a nice gesture. By the time we got to the front, they handed menus out, and you had to order prior to actually getting to your seat. And it's funny because both Lynn and I from last night were still full from the all-you-could-eat Wagyu beef. It was crazy. And so we ended up just ordering 2 onigiri each, as well as I got a mushroom miso soup. And so I got a mentaiko with mayonnaise and cream cheese onigiri, and a pork stir-fried in kimchi with cheese onigiri. Lynn, on the other hand, she got a mentaiko with mayonnaise onigiri and a fried chicken karaage with mayonnaise onigiri. The onigiri were about twice the size of a regular onigiri that you'd find at like a convenience store. So it was actually perfect that we each got 2. And we also both felt that it was really good because of all the fat from the Wagyu last night, to have something that was more of a base, like the rice from the onigiri. These 4 onigiri, 2 for each of us, ended up really being satisfying. And the soup was delicious as well. We ate pretty quick. They provided iced tea just as we sat down. They confirmed our orders, and then it's like a few minutes later, everything just started popping up right in front of us. And it was just kind of their system to keep things moving. As soon as Lynn and I finished, we asked for the check, paid the bill. They only accept cash, so that is something to take note. And then we went over, when we left, we went over to a bookstore that was across the street. And it just so happens that that bookstore was selling goods from Onigiri Bongo, which was kind of weird. It was just like they had book bags, they had stickers, they had magnets, they had keychains, they had shirts. It was pretty nuts. And when we saw that, we're like, oh, let's go in. And so we headed on into the bookstore and checked that out. Now, the time around, we were all about like 1:45 to 2 o'clock at this time. And so we started to have to head on back to Akihabara to go back to our hotel and pick up our luggage. After shopping in that bookstore for a little while, we did go back to Akihabara. I went shopping for a little bit, like went into a couple of used bookstores, bought some things, and we walked around, gathered the stamps of the area, and then it was a pretty good point to where we just had to go ahead and leave. There wasn't much time left for us, and I did get a notification that our flight was pushed back by 20 minutes, but that didn't really matter. And I am happy that I actually checked us in the day before. So last night I checked us in. We went back to went back to our hotel, the Via in Akihabara, grabbed our luggage, went back to the Akihabara station, took the train over to Nippori, which this is just your basic route. You can either go to Tokyo Station or Nippori. Tokyo Station, you'll take the JR next back to Narita. The Keisei Skyliner is a little bit less expensive, if I remember correctly. I'll have to look it up again because it was only 1,300 yen for a direct train to Terminal 2, which is what we needed. So from Nippori, we just immediately, 45 minutes later, we were at the airport. This time was up, I want to say it was about 4:45-ish when we got there. I think our train was like 4:05 or something like that, so a little after 4. We got to the station or the airport and checked in our luggage to put into stowage. And by the time all said and done, it was like a little after 5. Our flight was at 6:30 now. It was pushed back by 20 minutes. It was supposed to be at 6:10. So we had about an hour to get through security, which was a breeze for us. We just walked right through and went over, stopped at was it a Starbucks? No, it was a Tully's. We stopped at a Tully's right in front of our gate. We're in Terminal 2, Gate 63. And we had a couple of cups of coffee, used the restroom, filled our water bottles, just the normal prep stuff that you do before you get onto a long flight, before walking over and getting ready to get onto the flight. We were called up shortly. I was just making short talk with everybody that was there, hopped onto the plane, and unfortunately couldn't get 2 seats next to each other, so Lynn actually had to sit in the aisle seat on the row before me, and I took the window seat on the row behind her. The flight was really uneventful. There was a few moments of heavy turbulence where the plane kind of dropped maybe about, I want to say, it felt like it was a couple of feet, but it was probably like 6 inches, really. You know, you just drop a little when you hit like those air bubbles or whatever they are, where the hot and cold air aren't working appropriately, so the plane loses lift. Other than that, it was just a long flight back, and I really got along with the person that was sitting next to me. She was Japanese, who grew up in Texas, and so we actually had a lot to talk about, just about touring in America, touring in Japan, touring in other places in Asia, and just having a better understanding of all that before we landed. The meal was okay. It wasn't anything to really talk about. I don't actually have any footage of any of the food or anything because we just chat throughout the whole thing, and I just didn't feel like interrupting our conversation by taking photos of our food. And yeah, we landed in San Francisco at about 11:40, so we're a little late. I think it was supposed to be like 11:30 that we landed, and then the luggage came out late, so then we didn't really get back into San Francisco proper to Lynn's house until about, I want to say, 12:30-ish. Right after that, Lynn started her laundry, took a shower, and then hopped into the car. We loaded all my stuff up, and we came out to Pleasanton to home and dropped everything off, where I started a couple of loads of laundry, took my own shower, and that's where we're at. And I think really it's been a crazy long day. Starting off with the 2D cafe or whatnot, and then ending here in Pleasanton, California. Overall, it was a whirlwind trip. It was super enjoyable. I am so glad that everybody I was with talked really good about it, so I feel that they had a good time. I'll definitely be asking them more about it later and seeing what they thought was awesome and what they thought could have been improved. And yeah, that will be the end of our 2025 April Star Wars convention Japan tour trip, which it's just such a crazy thing to think about. 2 weeks ago we were in Nikko and then Chiba at a Star Wars convention, and then meeting up with friends, then Sendai, Yamaguchi, like so many prefectures. There was just so many things that we did and so many places that we went to, and just so much more inspiration of places that I want to go back to. So, I feel that I could definitely go back to Nagano. I definitely could go back to Toyama. I could definitely go back to Ishikawa or Kanazawa. And I could definitely go back to Shirakawa-go. It felt like we got a good basics of those areas, but maybe we'll definitely have to go back in the future. Not too soon, though. I do have some other plans in the works of other places that I want to be going to. So either Kyushu or Hokkaido are going to be the next exploration. And I think, yeah, that will do it for this video and this series. So thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.